Alright, for this video I wanted to talk about Hikikomori in America. That's something that I experienced in my early 20s. I was definitely what you would consider Hikikomori. Some people call it NEET in America. NEET's kind of a more brutal term, I think. But NEET means not in education, employment, or training. So I was a NEET, or I call it Hikikomori, especially since there's a lot more men who are Hikikomori nowadays. It's a Japanese word that means herbivore men, which means like men who live in solitude and stay away from people and don't approach women. I did that for a long time throughout my 20s, and that accompanied with weightlifting. Like I did a little bit of weightlifting in my 20s, but for the most part, I was Hikikomori. Even when I was weightlifting, I didn't talk to anybody. I just would weightlift for health reasons and then go back to my house and play a video game. I mostly played RuneScape and Minecraft. Not very much Minecraft, though, just a little bit. And I'm pretty good at Minecraft, so that's why I like it. But anyway, Hikikomori, it's not really a fun experience. Some people call it LDAR, laying down and rotting, but it kind of depends on what you're doing. Like I did that for about 6 months, where I just laid down and didn't get up. And then after that, I was always doing something, but I was miserable. And I was just too shy to talk to anybody. And that had been my whole life experience, just being too shy to talk to anybody. So that's why I was Hikikomori. And it wasn't like I was like lazy. I wasn't lazy. I had some jobs before I went Hikikomori, but like I'd been working since I was 14, and I worked until I was 19, and then after that I just stayed in my room. And I eventually went back to school, but even at school, I would just stay in my apartment and just stay in my room, except to go to classes and get grades, and then I would go back to my room and just stay there all the time. I'm even doing that right now, but I've been getting out more. Like just somebody invited me to go out and get beers with them. Some 60-year-old guy who I know, who I've known for a long time since my childhood, and I'll probably go get some beers with him, and so I'm getting out at least a little bit more. And yeah, it's just some 60-year-old boomer guy who doesn't really know anything about, or maybe not nothing, like he got divorced, but he doesn't know everything about like the dating market and all that. But so I'm not gonna meet a girl at the bar we're gonna go at the bar we're going to this Friday, but especially since I'm sort of fat right now. So yeah, that's probably not going to happen for me, but we'll at least probably be drunk and have a good time. Being drunk is fun enough, so I might as well just go for that reason. And it's really close to my mom's house, so I can just go to my mom's house when I'm done. I can walk there. I don't even need to worry about getting a ride. Yeah. Yeah, so my experience being Hikikomori, I'll kind of run through the timeline for you. Like I was from 19 until 20, I was just in my room. 20 to 21, for 6 months of that year, I gave up and laid down. And for the rest of the year, I started lifting weights, and I got really jacked and ripped, and Did some hooking up with women. Not very much, but a little bit. Just because I had the physique and I could pull it off now. And I was lonely, but it made me feel miserable afterwards. I think that's kind of how it is if you're not like born with like, I don't know, like killer instincts or whatever. Like I actually think like this is kind of off topic, but like if you've ever heard of the warrior gene, I think I have like half of that. Like there's two alleles in the warrior gene, and if you have both of the alleles, you're very much like good at sex with women, and like you don't mind having a lot of partners. But if you have only one of the alleles, like it's kind of in between. Like you still have the warrior gene, but you're not like you're more geared towards like monogamy. I've never read an article that said that, but that's pretty much what I surmised from my own experiences and knowing that like my mom has the warrior genes, like both of them, both the alleles, and my dad has neither of them. So I got one of his and one of hers. And I'm sure of that because I worry a lot, but I'm also like very muscular and in shape. I'm fat right now, but I mean you can still see my muscles, and you can tell like I'm like a gym bro. I look like a gym bro, even though I haven't been to the gym in like 2 months. Like fat but muscular. But anyway, my temperament is one that aligns well with monogamy and not well with polygamy. But I can kind of hook up and be fine with it, but it sort of haunts you later on. Like you think about it and you're just kind of ashamed of what you've done. At least if you're me, if you have like one allele that is like a warrior allele, and then the other one's like a warrior allele or something. I don't know. If you have like the weaker allele and then the stronger allele, like you're gonna be kind of questioning whether it was right or not. Probably, maybe not necessarily, but that's something I noticed. It's just like that makes sense. I'm just trying to explain it like scientifically. Also, if you're just a moral person, I'm sure you could have both the alleles that are really strong and just think about it and not be proud of it, just if you're moral. So I don't know how moral I am, but I definitely would rather have a girlfriend and a meaningful connection than I would just sex and a brutal relationship. Not that I'll get either of those things, but I might be one of the men who doesn't get any of that. I'm not sure I deserve any of that, but I'm not going to say I don't deserve it. But at the same time, maybe I don't. Anyway, so Hikikomori is sort of like it makes you feel comfortable and you don't have to deal with people. And if you're really shy like I was, which is the case for pretty much all Hikikomori, then yeah, like NEET like isn't necessarily like I think that's the biggest difference between NEET and Hikikomori. Like Hikikomori is like you're shy, like you have a hard time talking to people, and that's why you're secluded. Where NEET is like not necessarily like it could be most of the time is just probably that you don't want to work. Or you're just very hateful and don't want to contribute to society, which I can't really blame them for that. But that wasn't the case for me. I was just very shy and couldn't get myself out there. I wanted to. And I eventually did, and I still do now, and I can talk to people now. Now that I'm older, I'm almost 30 now. Out of breath. But yeah, now that I'm a little bit older, it's a little bit easier. I've just gotten used to being around people. It's still not that easy, depending on who you're talking to. But talking to like a random stranger anyway is sort of awkward no matter what. So most people, they know people from like past experiences. Meeting new people is sort of rare. But if you do, then good for you.